Welcome back to the Institute for Business Growth and the Sales Accelerator class. We are finishing our goal setting module. This is module 7, tracking. What I'd like you to do is track your results daily, and I'm going to show you how to do that in 10 seconds or less. I'm going to ask you to grade yourself weekly and suggest you use an accountability partner to keep you focused. If you don't have one, it takes a little more discipline to hold yourself accountable. And then lastly, I'm going to teach you a very simple process that allows you to adjust based on what you learned the previous week. So if something's working for you, we want to keep doing it. If something isn't working for you, what we want to do is either stop doing it or correct it so that we get better results. And then we just want to repeat that process. So here is one of the first forms I want to show you. Once you go through the process and you define what your promise is, what I want you to do is give it a begin date so we know exactly when you started, when you expect it to be completed, the results you expect, and then ask a question: are you 100% committed? If there's any doubt that you're not completely 100% committed to this particular promise, then I would suggest you'll have trouble with it. So get back involved in the emotional outcome of why it's important to make sure you're 100% committed. And then I want you to list top 3 reasons why it's important for you. If in my case, for example, when I wanted to write the book, I wanted the expert credentialing. I wanted to be able to present to potentially hundreds of people instead of just one. And I felt that it would increase the effectiveness of my coaching if I had a book behind me. Now, my reasons to believe I could do that, I talked about my black belts, I talked about my college degrees, I talked about all the certificates that I have for all the learnings that I've participated in. And when I compare what I'm trying to achieve in writing the book against, say, for example, my 4-year degree, it's a no-brainer. Writing the book should be a pushover. And then lastly, the 3 actions I'll take every day for 90 days to achieve this promise, to achieve the results I'm looking for. In my case, it was write 2 pages a day, every day for 90 days. This keeps it top of mind. I really want you to read this every day. It's going to take you a grand total of 30 seconds, but I want you to read it every day because, one, I want a top of mind awareness, but more importantly, I want your subconscious working on this with you by keeping it top of mind. The next step in the process is the tracking form. The tracking form is very, very simple. Give yourself a check mark if you did everything that you promised to do. Give yourself a dash if you did some of the things, and leave it blank if you didn't. So let's say, for example, you're starting January 1st. Fill in the start date, put in your problem statement, and then let's say January 1st you did everything that you were supposed to do. Just go to the day of the month and then the month and put a check mark in there. And just do that every day for the next 90 days. The reason for that is you're going to be able to see very quickly whether or not you're doing what you're supposed to do. I found when I was holding myself accountable for meditation that I would do the form, and I found that I created a pattern of skipping weekends. So it was very easy for me to see where I was falling down in the process. And thus I could correct it. Now, the next part of the process is the weekly summary, the weekly review. It's simply you list your promises and you grade yourself from A to F. A, I was exceptional at getting done what I needed to get done. B, I was above average. C, average. D, poor. And F, I totally failed, didn't do anything. Now, a couple of things to think about. If you're giving yourself A's all the way through, strong possibility that you set your goal too low and you're not being challenged, or potentially it's something you've already accomplished, so it's not necessarily a big stretch. If you're giving yourself all F's, more than likely you've given yourself a stretch goal that is too big for you right now, or you haven't done a good job thinking through, 1, the process to achieve it, and 2, you may not be emotionally committed to it. But it's very important that you be honest with yourself, that you grade yourself A to F on this. Because on the next form, what we're going to do is we're going to ask you to go a little further. Now, this whole process at the end of the week may take you 10 minutes, maybe 5 minutes. Let's say 10 on the outside. The after action review that I'm asking you to do is, what was the promise? What were my strengths? What did I do well that I want to keep doing? What are the weaknesses? Where did I struggle? What am I not doing as well as I thought I would be doing? What opportunities did I find? As I'm going through this, did I discover something that I didn't know was out there? Very good possibility that you're going to see things in a very different way as you start this process. What are the threats? What's holding me back? Is there an obstacle here that I didn't see that's surfacing? Do I have competitors coming in? Where are the threats that are holding me back? And then lastly, what are the adjustments that I need to make? Now that's a powerful question, because what I'm going to ask you to do when you do the adjustments is go back and fill out your promise form again. What's my promise? What's my due date? What's my results? Again, my why, my top 3 reasons that I believe this to be important, my top 3 reasons to believe I can do it, and then the actions I will take. So as you can see, we're just failing forward. If we find something that's not working, we try it for a week, we're not wasting a lot of time, then we just fail forward. But the intent here is to keep moving in a positive direction. So here's what I would like you to do is you have tracking to do. Obviously, I want you to do your promise setting process. I want you to use the forms. I want you to actually track your results. It's amazing how many obstacles can be overcome when you see the progress that you're making. Tracking is hugely important. And it also shows you where you're falling down a little bit. Now, the next module that we're going to cover is selling by behavior style. This is where it really gets fun. I really enjoy this, because what we're going to teach you over the next several modules is how to recognize a person's behavior style, understand what's important to them, and sell to them the way they want to buy. I'm a big believer in teaching people to buy from me more than I am a big believer in selling to them, even though they're almost the same thing. So what I want you to do is take your quiz, make sure that you understand the promise setting process thoroughly, and get ready to have some real serious fun as we understand behavior styles in module number 3.